touch me in the pouring rain, and the moment that you wander far from me, I wanna feel you in my arms again. And you come to me on a summer breeze, keep me warm in your love, then you softly leave. And it's somewhere beyond the seas, he's there watching for me. If I could fly like birds on high, then straight to her arms I'd go sailing. It's far beyond the star, it's near beyond the moon. I know beyond a doubt my heart will lead me there soon. Beyond the shore we'll kiss just as before. Happy we'll be beyond the sea, and never again I'll go sailing. Candle. Yep. Just lighting a candle now in remembrance of Mum and Dad. Mum, who died 14 years ago. At the end of life, we must face death as a stranger. Yet death is part of life which we must try to accept and comprehend. Death is something we all must face alone. All earthly trappings and prestige account for nothing when we come to our journey's end. In death, the circle of life is complete. Today we acknowledge that completion as we gather to farewell our beloved. On behalf of Megan, Tony and the wider family, I'd just like to very warmly welcome you to our memorial service today for Murray. My name is Peter Collett and I'm the celebrant for today, and I'm delighted to be leading this service for this much loved man. He was a much loved member of the community here in Balclutha, and also used to enjoy his time here in the Town and Country Club. So it's very appropriate that we should be farewelling him from a place that he loved greatly. Later in the service, there will be an opportunity for other people who may want to say a few words. Very briefly, I have to ask you, and that opportunity will be given to you. I'd also like to welcome, this is being live streamed, and Tony's much loved people in Belfast and Northern Ireland will be watching, maybe not quite at this moment, but they will be watching later on. And so from little old Balclutha, I warmly welcome you in Northern Ireland, anyone else who might be watching live stream. I'd like to begin the service with a few words that see it as Murray speaking to us for the last time. It wouldn't be the words he would use, but maybe the sentiments expressed in these few words might be what he'd want to say to us. And it goes like this. When I've come to the end of the road and the sun has set for me, I want no rights in a gloom-filled room. Why cry for a soul set free? Miss me a little, but not too long, and not with your heart bowed low, with your head bowed down. Remember the love that we all once shared. Miss me, but let me go. For this is a journey we all must take, and each must go alone. For it is part of the Master's plan, a step on the road to home. When we are lonely and sad of heart, go to your friends we know and bury your sorrows in doing good deeds. Miss me, but let me go. And so with those lovely thoughts, I'd just like to share a eulogy that I put together. I was speaking to the family yesterday, and they gave me a lovely booklet that was, when Raywin died, they put this booklet together and from the hospice, and it's many pages long. I'm not going to read it, just relax, we won't be here all day. However, there's lots of mentions of Murray in this, so I've got bits and pieces all over, so whoopsie, I hope it all comes together nicely. Anyhow, the one thing about Murray more than anything else is he had three loves apart from his family. He had lots of loves in his life. One of the loves was the sea, ships and cranes. So whenever he did work, he tried to incorporate those things in his life, so that's very important. Murray was born on the 7th of February 1943 to Jim and Hazel. They lived their early life in Tensley Street with his younger brother Keith. He went to George Street Normal School, and then later he went to the Dunedin North Intermediate. Finally he went to King Edward Technical College. He grew up a typical boy, always wanting to see if he could get things for nothing. And with this he seemed to have some success. I'm told that with his cousin Alan, on Saturdays he would go along to the Hudson factory, biscuit factory, with a pillowcase. And with that pillowcase he would fill it up with all broken biscuits that were produced during that week. He'd also go to the Royal Ice Cream Factory, and he got 3 Eskimo pies when he was there. And he also went along to the wharf, and he got any cooked crayfish claws or legs that they were going to throw out. So he did pretty well for himself as a young fellow. As he got a little bit older, he took on jobs, and one of the jobs he took on was delivering the ODT. And one of the places he had to deliver the ODT to was to the wharf, to the seamen who were on the coastal ships. And I think that may be the place where he got his dream job. He wanted to go and work on the ships. And so with Dad's permission, at the age of 15, he left school and he decided to become a deckhand on one of these coastal ships that went up and down the country. Now at the time, I think there was something like 22 ships going up and down the east coast. Now I believe there's only 2. But over the years, Murray seemed to take many jobs over the time, and I hope I've got them in right chronological. The family don't mind if I get a bit mixed up. Also the important thing is he met his future wife, Raywin, because she worked at the Oak Tree Inn at Clinton. And she worked there and lived there about 3 years. And she met Murray because by that stage she was driving a beer tanker. And that's when they first met, and so it went on from there. Finally, Murray persuaded her to come back to the Bright Lights of Dunedin, which she did. And they were later married on the 26th of February 1972 in a little church just out of Balclutha here. He left the brewery and worked for Downers for a while before heading up to Twizel. Throughout his life, one of the things about Murray is that he was always generous and kind. And this is a little story, it just illustrates that point perfectly, because there were a lot of men up at Twizel who were in the single men's huts, and it was a pretty lonely and miserable existence. And so he would often invite them across for tea, and so he got to know them so much better, which must have been very kind. Eventually he spent 7 years at Twizel, and then he went back to Dunedin and worked for Fulton Hogan. But before long he got itchy feet again, and so wanted to move again, and so this time he wanted to work on the Clyde Dam. Now Raywin wasn't too pleased about leaving Dunedin, but she reluctantly agreed to go and to live in Cromwell. Well, as it turned out, they really enjoyed Cromwell. It was a really great place. The family enjoyed living up there. And eventually they headed back to Dunedin, and they had a house in Fitzroy Street where they lived for the next 11 years. At the age of 66, Murray decided to retire. but he had a great deal of difficulty stopping work. They shifted to Balclusa with the idea of looking after Raewyn's aging mother and father. But sadly, Raewyn passed away due to cancer on the 22nd of October 2010. And so for the rest of his time here, he lived on his own, and all up, he lived here for about 15 years. On reflection, Murray was a very kind and generous man, as I've already mentioned. He always backed his kids, whatever they were doing. Tony was telling me he wanted to do woodwork, so he bought a lathe for them because that's what you need to do. Megan and Tony remember many camping holidays where they went to all different places and enjoyed themselves. Murray had great difficulty staying still for too long, and so he appreciated being able to go to the Whiteman farm. He would go up there on a regular basis and potter around and enjoy himself, so that was wonderful. One delightful story I heard, and this is sort of typical of the person that he was, he saw someone opposite where he was living digging foundations for a house. Now he never knew the guy, but he went over and spoke to him with his shovel, and after introducing himself, he then helped him dig the foundations. Isn't that lovely? What a lovely gesture. But that was the sort of person that he was. Over the years, Murray's had pretty good health. He had a bypass surgery at the age of 49 and had some prostate problems later on in life. But generally speaking, he had a pretty good life, and he wasn't sick for too long. So in conclusion, I would say that Murray will be sadly missed by those who knew and loved him. He was a generous and kind to his family, and his children and grandchildren loved him dearly. May he rest in peace. So we're just going to now have a time of quiet. This is a time of sort of reflection and to say farewell to Murray in your heart. And in doing that, we're going to listen to some music and watch some photos of his life. Thank you, Mark. try not using my glasses, but I must be getting old. I really need to use them. There we go. There's a couple of little mentions from his grandchildren in Northern Ireland. They've written something which I'd like to share now. I love my granddad just because I love him. I love his cuddles and hugs. I love it when he reads me stories. He was very kind to me when we were in his house. That's from Rosa and from Ellie. Eli. Sorry? Eli, sorry. I love you, Granddad. I love that he let us stay at his house. He made us nice stuff like jelly. I loved him reading to me. He's a great granddad. Isn't that nice? Lovely, lovely. Now we're going to invite Alison. Is it Alison? Yeah, Alison to speak. She's a neighbour. There she is. She's going to come up and say a few words about being such a great neighbour.
Firstly, thank you, Tony and Megan and family, for giving me the opportunity on behalf of Murray's neighbours to say a huge thank you, Murray, for being such a great neighbour. I googled and found the 5 qualities of a good neighbour. They are friendly, helpful, trusting, respectful and considerate. Murray was all of those and a lot more. David and I moved into Ipswich Street, across the street from Murray 8 years ago, having bought our house from Anna and Braddon. While they were happy to move to their next adventure, I can always remember Braddon saying, "I'm really sad to be leaving as we have such great neighbours." How right he was. But Murray has been in Ipswich Street a lot longer than us. Robbie and Audrey welcomed Murray to Ipswich Street 18th of January 2011. With Robbie's recollection, when Murray moved into the neighbourhood, Robbie was having a drink with Trevor, but Murray didn't know the rules and started up the lawnmower. Needless to say, he soon learned that you don't mow the lawn on a Sunday afternoon when Robbie is drinking. Murray was told, "Turn that lawnmower off and come and have a beer." That was certainly the start of a very long friendship. When firewood was being done, Murray would be helping Robbie, or just recently, we had Nana Tunner helping Murray to help Robbie with the firewood. One little neighbour who is really going to miss Murray is Cade. From a very early age, if Cade went missing, Robbie and Audrey would check with Murray as he was probably there. Murray really took an interest in all of our grandchildren and what they were doing. Murray was always very kind and sat with Arthur while June went to golf. June had a great day out and Arthur enjoyed the company. If June forgot to shut the garage door, no worries. Murray would shut the door. He was a great neighbourhood watchdog. Robbie recalls taking Murray for a drive to the cabins to meet his Uncle Norman. Murray was warned on the way by the late Alan Huddleston not to drink too much. He was warned that he would not look the same when they came home. On the way home, they came through the roadside to see the late Alan Huddleston, who said, "I warned him." They had a great day out, but funnily enough, Murray could never remember that day. As Robbie said, there were many of those days out. Honestly, he really did enjoy the company. During COVID, most days come 4 p.m, there was drinks on the street, and Murray always joined us. COVID wasn't great, but the social interaction each day certainly was. I guess during that time, we all learnt a lot more about each other, especially Murray. He loved to tell us about his family and his career at sea. For David and I, not sure who's going to water the tomatoes, bring in the mail and be our security camera now when we're away. Who's going to feed Brendan and Anna's dog and hens when they're away? Murray, we really will miss you. Those numerous cups of tea where you told us your stories, but more importantly, always kept us up to date on what Tony, Megan and their families were doing. He was so proud of you all. I guess we all watched Murray's health slowly fade, but we certainly didn't expect to be greeted with the news last Friday morning that Murray had passed away. Murray, you were a great neighbour, and we all will miss you. Rest in peace.
Is there anybody else who would like to get up and say a few words? Oh, great. Very good.
Alright, Granddad, I'm going to keep this short and sweet, but you were the best granddad that all three of us could have ever asked for, and we're going to love and miss you so much. And I really hope that you're up there with Grandma and great-grandma and great-granddad, and we love you so much, and goodbye.
Thank you for that. Well done. She wasn't going to do it yesterday. Wonderful. Anybody else like to say a word? Yep.
Yeah, I'm Les Bowman, the current president of the Town and Country. Yeah, I got to know Murray and Raywin when they lived in Hospital Road, and I'm a painter and decorator, so it gets around the town pretty quick after Darren Gordon and Una Bell's residents. So I got to do a bit of work for them, and they were so very nice to work for. And it was very, we did give Murray a bit of condolences when Raywin was ill, and we were comforted him. And then he decided to move to North Balclutha, so hence he wants a bit more painting done. But so we decorated his house up in Itchwood Street, made it look quite nice. But yeah, it'd be sadly missed as a member of the Town and Country. He was here most Fridays here for lunch, so he was always had a great sense of humour. Every time I did a bit of painting, he would have me on. Oh, that's not very good. He said, oh, that's a bit bloody rough, he would say, but and with a smile on his face. So, but yeah, and then I remember we had the wee dog too for a wee while, wee black dog, and so he cherished that dog too. So yeah, no, it's sadly missed. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? No? All right. As we know that Murray's wife Raywin died and was buried from this very building in the 26th of October 2010. And as we spoke yesterday to the family, we thought we'd do something that links the two services together. And what happened was that one of the things that Raywin requested at her funeral was that the song The Rose be sung. So it was sung by somebody. Well, we're going to listen to that song now in memory of Raywin, and then we'll recite the Lord's Prayer after that. Thank you.
Some say love, it is a river that drowns the tender reed. Some say love, it is a razor that leaves your soul to bleed. Some say love, it is a hunger, an endless aching need. I say love, it is a flower, and you, its only seed.
we come to the end of our service now, can we all please stand and we'll recite the Lord's Prayer that we've also said as Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Not me. Okay, we're just going to say our final farewell and commitment over Murray's ashes. The earthly life of Murray Livingston Wood is now at an end, and so we must commit his ashes for scattering. Murray, your life we honour, your departure we accept, your memory we cherish. In grief at your death, but in gratitude for your life and the privilege of sharing it with us, we commit your ashes for scattering. Earth to earth, ashes to ash, dust to dust. May those left behind draw comfort from your memories and love, and may we be strengthened because of the love we have for each other. And so, with a deep sadness and a very heavy heart, we must now say our farewells to you, Murray. So rest now at the end of your days, your work is done. Rest in the minds and in the hearts of all those you have known and loved.
Oh, I did. So that Mark. What do you feel better? A little bit of shock, eh? Sorry. Yeah, that's the way
Tony.